There's no room in our classrooms for things like critical race theory. Teaching kids to hate their country and to hate each other is not worth 1 red cent of taxpayer money.
As Governor DeSantis draws a line in the sand on critical race theory, California moves the opposite way, approving the nation's first statewide ethnic studies curriculum. Senior correspondent Claudia Cowan, live from San Francisco. Hey, Claudia.
Hi, Kristen. Well, it took some 4 years, 4 drafts, and tens of thousands of public comments to get this first in the nation ethnic studies curriculum approved here in California. Now, the model lesson plan is currently not required, but schools can use it as a guide. They can pick and choose from it or not use it at all if they so choose. California's education superintendent and some lawmakers say it will help teach the history and contributions, as well as the racism and oppression faced by Black, Asian, Latino, and Native Americans, and will also include lessons on Jewish, Armenian, and Sikh communities. But others say these lessons are divisive and teach kids that America is a fundamentally racist country. Some curriculums include bizarre activities, like having students chant the names of Aztec gods that were honored with human sacrifices. While places like Florida have pushed back on the movement, critics argue districts across the country are increasingly bringing race and ethnicity into the classroom.
This is really the goal of this, is to move away from a model of achievement-based education towards a model of political activism. They're turning schools into an extension of our politics.
And stand by for more debate on this issue. Lawmakers in Sacramento are considering a bill that would make high school ethnic studies a graduation requirement here. Kristen.
Thank you so much, Claudia. So joining me now, former teacher Leo Terrell, who's also a constitutional and civil rights attorney, and Rochelle Ritchie, former press secretary for the House Democrats' Democratic Policy and Communications Committee and spokesperson for the Baltimore State's Attorney's Office during the Freddie Gray case. So, Leo, I'm going to start with you. Why do you think that this is a bad idea, what the state of California has done?
Because it's racist, and it shouldn't be used. Let me be as clear as I can, Kristen. There's no systemic discrimination in California or in this nation. There's no institutionalized racism. There's no federal lawsuit talking about such a disparity in education. I was a public school teacher. I went to the public schools in LA. And what I'm saying to you right now, this is to rewrite history. This is to create a racist perspective of what happened in our country. And it's wrong. It's nothing more than Democratic talking point. And I challenge my colleague here to admit that there is no institutionalized racism. There's no systemic discrimination. It's just Democratic talking points and to turn public schools into Democratic laboratories.
All right. Well, Rochelle, Leo just challenged you. How do you respond?
You know, when I looked at the, critical race theory, it's interesting that something that dates back to the 1970s has now become a problem, 31 years later, and I'm not sure why. I think that one of the key things in this that your reporter mentioned is that it's voluntary, meaning that they don't have to do this. It is a choice. I don't see a problem with necessarily discussing racism or race in this country because it happened. It's just the truth. And when you talk about this is not about who's racist or who's more racist. It's about a system. And I think it's important for our kids to understand how to address these things as they move forward in life so that we don't have workplace discrimination. We don't have discrimination in the healthcare services. And I think that's the important tool here.
Leo, why are you shaking your head?
You see, Kristen, that's typical. She didn't touch the question. She said it's good that we should talk about these things. That's a false assumption. We are talking about it. I taught U.S. history. Everything that she just suggested is being taught right now. This is a racist propaganda to eliminate Jefferson, eliminate Lincoln. I'll ask her again for the Fox viewers. Why don't you acknowledge there is no systemic discrimination, there is no institutionalized racism. I'm not going to let Democratic operatives come on Fox and play that race card. It does not exist. And if it does, tell me. By the way, there's no federal lawsuit alleging discrimination in California right now in education. Why don't you acknowledge that? Just tell the truth.
So, Rochelle, do you want to acknowledge that, or how would you like to respond?
Oh, I completely disagree with him. So, no.
Where is it? Where is it?
Well, while this debate continues, I want to pop up something from the Wall Street Journal, okay? They put out an op-ed, and it reads in part, why would California want to teach young people that their dreams of rising through merit are akin to defenses of slavery? Because a core tenet of ethnic studies is that a person's identity is determined first and foremost by group membership. Another teaching resource warns that if we accept meritocracy, then we would strive to do our best on our own and should focus on individual achievement. Rochelle? What do you think of that?
You know, maybe it's because I'm a history buff, and when I listen and learn about these different things that happen in our country, it doesn't make me point blame and think that all white people are racist, or, you know, and I'm sure I don't want to speak for the Asian American community, but I don't think anybody thinks that. I don't have a problem learning about our history. I think our history is extremely fascinating. I think that it shows perseverance. I think it shows resiliency for the American people, whether and people of color that have been in this country, and Black Americans. So I'm not really sure why people are so angry about this. And I think that, again, this is a choice on whether or not the schools want to use them. In California right now, only Fresno and Los Angeles have used it as a requirement to graduate high school.
So, Leo, she says it's voluntary and therefore not as big of a deal. I'll give you the final word, though, here.
Thank you. You know what, Kristen, that Wall Street Journal is right on. This is a country where people make individual decisions and strive based on individual merit. It's not the group mentality and the mindset. It is option, but the assumption is it's necessary. It means that our system right now is not working. It is working. I want to sit here and say this. I am a proud product of a public school system, University of California, and I came out okay. So I don't get it. I just don't understand why we need to change it. It makes no sense, and she didn't answer any of my questions.
Leo, Rochelle.
You're not the host. So.
Leo, Rochelle.
You know what?
Thank you both so much.
The Fox viewers. I'm concerned about the Fox viewers. I want the Fox viewers to know everything.
We have given the Fox viewers a very fair debate. Gave both of you an opportunity to present your sides of this debate, and I really appreciate it on a Friday. Thank you both so much, Leo and Rochelle. Appreciate it.